Hi, I'm Peggy Payne. I teach agricultural science classes at Walla Walla High School, and I've been with the Walla Walla Public School District for 18 years. I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but my parents moved to New Jersey when I was 9 months old. So I technically grew up in New Jersey. I was a Blue Devil in high school, so it's kind of cool that I went from a Blue Devil on the East Coast to a Blue Devil on the West Coast. While I was in school, probably the most helpful, meaningful teacher to me was named Mr. John Joseph. He was a music teacher. He taught me how to play the violin. And he just took a personal interest in me and just increased my confidence enormously. In high school, I was a good student, but I was not a happy student. I went to a high school where, well, there was a Rockette. There were people going to Ivy League schools on a regular basis, and so I didn't feel that intelligent. I wasn't part of the in crowd, and as a result, I was a pretty angry student. I was on the school newspaper. I was an editor for the features, and a lot of my stories that I wrote were kind of rebellious, angry youth stories. Fortunately, that anger is no longer a part of me, and I had to work on changing that. After high school, I went to the University of Maine. I escaped the crowdedness of New Jersey and went to a place where it was a lot more open and less populated. I was a botany major, and I was able to be a big fish in a little pond because there were only 11 botany majors. And I bonded a lot with the mentors I had in the botany department. I worked for marine biologists, and I got to work along the coast of Maine and on Maine islands. And then I got into mycology, which is a study of mushrooms, and I did a study with the Nature Conservancy on mushrooms that were found in bogs. And then from there, I met my husband, and we moved all the way out to Michigan. And in Michigan, I pursued a Ph.D. at Michigan State University, and that was in forest genetics. And we had an agreement that whoever got the first job, because my husband was in grad school at the University of Michigan, whoever got the first job offer, that's where we would go. And I got the first job offer from Boise Cascade to be their poplar geneticist on their cottonwood fiber farm. So I did that for 10 years, and then I found a better fit by moving into education. While working in the corporate research life, I felt like I didn't really fit in. My coworkers made fun of me because I was too caring and I acted motherly. And so I wasn't feeling like I fit in there. And I knew I'd always had teaching in the back of my mind. And at that time, James and I had 2 little babies at home, and I wanted more time with them. So I started thinking, I'm passionate about plants, and I wanted to share that passion. And I also wanted more time with my children. So teaching became a real appealing opportunity. So I started out at Prescott Junior Senior High School after getting certified to teach. At that point, my children were in kindergarten and 2nd grade, and I wanted to have the same schedule as them. So I started applying at Walla Walla Public Schools. It took 2 job interviews where there were 3 openings and 3 applicants and 2 openings, and I was the 3rd person to not get an offer. And I just stuck with it because I really wanted to get into this district because it's pretty great. And then finally, I was able to get hired at Walla Walla High School. I was initially hired to teach biology in the science department, and I fell in love not only with my colleagues, they were still a great bunch of people, and I loved the students. And the students just kind of opened up another part of my life that had been dormant for a while. They made me laugh, and they inspired me, and they taught me as well. From there, I went to teaching. I did AP biology for 10 years and some other classes. Then I got into taking on a biotechnology class, which was through the agriculture department. And then they needed somebody to teach their physical science and agriculture class. And because I also love the people over here and the fact that they did a lot more applied science labs. That was something that appealed to me as well. So I eventually moved over to full-time agriculture teaching, and a lot of the big draw was my passion for plants, because the advanced biology curriculum, AP biology, doesn't focus on plants at all. And I'm pretty enthusiastic about plants, especially in the Walla Walla Valley. So it's been a really good fit. In my agricultural science classes, it has a very career focus, and it also has a very science focus. So it's the same science standards pretty much that's over in the science department. We're actually growing plants hydroponically and looking at the result of photosynthesis in terms of growth rate, and then with genetics, the traits that we see. For the freshman class, we're making batteries. We are creating windmills that are able to pump water. We use circuit boards, and honestly, this was kind of the eye-opener for me. When I took physics in college, I could do the math for electrical circuits, but I really didn't know what that meant. But here on the circuit boards, we can manipulate resistance and amperage, and we can see the effect it has on the brightness of a bulb. This is the way I like to teach. And the horticulture class is a really fun way to get out in the greenhouse, and we start little plugs, and very quickly we see growth. Similar with the hydroponics projects the students do. They start with a seedling that they think is frankly going to die, and then after a few months they have a harvestable crop. So plants are important. They're the basis of our food chain, so we grow food and they produce oxygen, and so without plants we wouldn't be here. At the end of the day, I love to be at home. I have two wonderful, mischievous dogs that I like to spend time with. And I have a daughter at home who I adore, and similarly with my husband. We pretty much like to hang out, and we'll watch movies, and then we retreat to our own little separate parts of the house. I love to read books. I love to knit. I love to garden. I like to bake a lot, all pretty home-based activities. When the weather gets nice, I do like to go for walks in more natural areas and look at plants. Go figure. I'm Peggy Payne, and I am Walla Walla Public Schools.